If you're a Luke Skywalker fan, you're gonna want to stick around. I've got the 89Sabers Luke Skywalker Hero Lightsaber. Let's check it out. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Collector's Outpost. I am John. Today we're taking a look at the 89Sabers Luke Skywalker Lightsaber from the folks over at CCSabers. Now this is the hero saber that we're all kind of used to seeing. It has those little features that we're always looking for, like the little circuit board, the uneven rings, and it has different accessories such as swap out emitter tops and pommel caps. So let's not waste any time on this one. I am excited to take a look at this one. I want to thank CCSabers for sending this over. I'll put a direct link and discount code for you down below if you want to check this out and everything else that CCSabers has to offer. Now, I am almost certain that I have reviewed more Luke lightsabers than any other lightsaber on this channel. I mean, let's face it, it's Luke Skywalker, man. You know, it's like he's a beloved character and every company makes their own versions and multiple versions, really. It's an absolute classic, and as many of you know, it ties back to Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber. So before we dig on into this, if you're new here, thank you so much for stopping on by. Please drop down, hit the like, subscribe, and notification button for upcoming videos. I've got a lot of lightsabers to get to and a handful of Hot Toys figures, which I might soon stop collecting because, number one, kind of out of room. I have some coming in that I don't really know where to put. I'm gonna have to maybe pack a few up. But, you know, life's getting very expensive right now, so I might even be canceling some of my Hot Toys, which makes me a little sad. But we have a lot of lightsabers to take a look at, and if you're a returning viewer and a friend of the channel, thank you so much for coming back and checking out another lightsaber review. Let's dig on into this unboxing. Like I was saying, this comes over from the folks at CCSabers. They have a fantastic selection of 89Sabers, and 89Sabers makes some really great lightsabers, great sounding lightsabers, great looking replicas. So right here we have the Luke Skywalker Hilt. There's a few things on here that I'll point out that are really cool. And right off the back, let's look at the accessories, because I love when Luke has accessories like this. We have the display cap here. TXQ also did this as well. They gave you a display cap for you, which does unscrew. But I'll also show you this. Not only does it have the emitter, you can also put that blade plug in there and really kind of replicate that same look if you just want to leave this on, because you're going to have a blade in and out. So, you know, you do have a lot of options. I'll show you everything installed, and we do have another pommel, more display pommel. Right here we have the more audio vent, and this does have a hole in it, so it will push out some audio, but a lot of it's going to be blocked, you know, because it's just a little hole there in the middle, so you have a lot of audio venting on this pommel. So it's great that you have some really good options here. We also get our Allen key and an extra retention screw there, and we also have our USB charging box here. And of course, we get that nice little suede accessories bag here from 89Sabers. These bags are always perfect to put all of these extra little pieces and everything in so you don't lose anything. And we have a set of white fancy gloves. And you will get a pixel blade. This one looks like a 36-inch. Let me just double check. Yep, this is a 36-inch pixel blade with a 1-inch diameter, so it's a 1-inch pixel blade. Also included, you have your little green envelope over here, and inside is usually all of the manual stuff, all the instructions and info that you need to run your Profi board. This is a Profi 3.9, so you have all your details and everything listed out here in 2 different pages. Everything from beware, your battery might be very low, so make sure you charge it, because I've done that a few times and I forgot to charge my battery and I start filming and dead battery. So I will walk through a few of these settings just so you know all of the basic settings to get you going, volume, blade style, stuff like that. And of course, my favorite of favorite parts. I love these displays. Let's put that together so I can show you this. And it will come with a little packet of screws and stuff for the display here. Now, the 89Sabers used to come in a full single piece stand, and they were always very hard to pack away. So if you wanted to put it on, you know, a wall mount or something, and you wanted to pack away your stand, it was very hard because it was just a solid stand. So it took up a lot of space. And in recent months, I forgot exactly when the first one came through here, but it's all in pieces now, and you just have to put it together, and it takes a couple seconds. And There we go. We got that nice museum-style display stand. All right, here's a close-up of the plaque for you. It says, Luke Skywalker, Hero V1 Lightsaber, Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, High-End Collector's Edition. I don't know, I love these stands. You know, it's just like a really high-end museum-looking piece. All right, let's take a closer look at this because we have some options here. Like I was saying, we have the blade plugs and the swap-out pommel pieces. So up on top here, we do have hidden retention screws, which I know so many of us love. You know, trying to get away from, you know, showing all those retention screws and everything. So the retention screws are actually on this piece here. You see it right there, right there. So we've got 2 retention screws hidden by the cap. Now we've seen this whole thing before, but I just love when everything's kind of hidden and tucked away there. So this is the cap version. Now you can put the emitter version on here. You know, the problem with the emitter version is obviously there's very little blade depth. I'll show you the blade depth here. We only have about 1/2 inch of blade depth in there. So, you know, it's the plague of the thin neck lightsaber, you know? So the one thing that we don't get here is one of those tops with that extra piece of meat on it to grab more of the blade. And that's always a welcomed addition when you have these thin necks and you really have no place to put the blade. Now, here's where you have to make some decisions. You can either just screw this back on for display, or you can screw this on and put the blade plug in. But, you know, you're gonna have to put the blade plug in first because you're gonna wanna tighten it down. And pop your top section on, screw that down. Now, the cool thing about this version of the display, you'll have no lights outside of the top here. You'll have some light come through there, but the blade plug on this one will light up a little bit. So that's the advantage of having this version on versus the more display, more screen accurate version. When this one is on, you will get some of that shine through come through there, you can see. So I don't know, for something like this, I may leave this version on just because we get some of that really nice light come through, like a nice little ring come through there. That's very nice. Now, just digging on into the chassis here. On the back here, we do have our kill switch, and we have that blinking green light indicating that this is the Profi 3.9. And around back, we have our 18650 battery. And up here, you have to keep in mind our connectors are these pins. So you'll see this one that has a little bit of a darker pin. There basically is no pin there. It's just a slot. So you're gonna have to make sure that you line that up with the slots inside, and do not push and jam and twist. It should click right in. So on this here, it's gonna have the Profi board facing the card. All right. And what you're gonna do is just kind of push and noodle around right about there, and that should do it. Now we do have the alternate pommel, which you can see does have a small audio vent, but it does muffle the sound a lot. All right, let me show you the other one. And this is the audio vented one. Huge difference. And, you know, it's 89Sabers. Sounds fantastic. Now, we don't have any blinkies over here, but this is a Profi board. So if you're a Profi coder, you might, I don't know anything about coding Profi and stuff like that. I really couldn't care. But you might be able to program the blinky lights on the side to do some cool stuff if you want. Yeah, we don't have any sort of blinking at all there. And also under the card here, we do have a nice little circuit board. You could add maybe extra wires and stuff if you want, but we have a really, really solid button here. We've seen other Luke lightsabers with really wiggly buttons. This is pretty, look at that. Let me see if I can make it real steady. There's nothing, there's no give. So it's a solid, solid button. And we do have everything kind of lighting up inside there as well. Then you could slip that right back on. Now we do have more of a really brand new kind of coppery look, rather than that more brass look that we have on all of the other ones that I think we've seen. You know what, I think, now that I think about it, the Xeno V3, if I remember right, I'll try to pop a picture up over here because I actually gave my Xeno V3 away in a giveaway. I think that had more of this orangey kind of copper look rather than the brass look. Probably gonna wind up painting this more of that brass colored tone and swap out the card, because the card's gonna be a little hard to paint. But I'll swap out the card and I'll probably wind up painting these and the neck over here more of that brass color. Just as a quick reference point, most of the Luke lightsabers that I come across have this more brass look over here and brass look over here. But this is usually the tone that I like, and there's a bunch of these kind of paints here. You know, this is a little bit light. I might find a darker one, but I've used this on a few different things. It's called a vintage gold. There's a ton of these out there that are right around this variation of color. So I might paint this color and then put a little weathering, you know, because if I put this paint on here and then put a little bit of a dark wash and everything on it, I might be able to tone it down to this, but I don't know, we'll see. Unlike the Mandalorian version, which has very thick, even rings here, and which is more of the idealized version of Luke, they gave us that more kind of screen-accurate neck piece here, where the rings are all slightly different sizes. These two look a little thinner, these two look a little thicker. This might be about as thick as that. This is much thinner, thicker, and then two thins over here, which is pretty much, you know, how his lightsaber did look, you know, on screen. All right, so let's pop this off and get that blade in here. All right, now keep in mind when you're putting the blades and everything in that you're gonna want to insert the blade first, all right? So take your emitter section here. You're gonna pop that through. Connect your blade, tighten the blade down, okay? And then slip that down and just screw this on in. All right, and there we have it. Oh. Sounds beautiful. 89Sabers just always has a really good solid sound. Now this is a really thin blade, so I'm not getting any wiggle or anything in the blade. If you're using a heavier blade, you might get some wiggle in there. There is 2 retention screws, but again, you're only getting like that much blade in there. So, you know, it's always a bit of a toss-up with these thin necks, especially Luke, because there's not much blade to get down in there. So I always recommend a really thin, very lightweight blade when it comes to these thin necks.
They'll never see it coming.
That lightsaber was Luke's.
Oh, such a nice tone. So we have twist on and twist off. Get all the goodies, flash on clash, lock up, tip drag, blaster deflex, beautiful smooth swing. All the accent swings in there. That is the one great thing about Profi boards. You know, I'm not a big Profi fan due to the programming of it, but the boards are just so good. You know, everything sounds so smooth. Now, this is a 2-button. We have a front and a back, so we have the auxiliary and we have the power. And our auxiliary is in the back. To switch through your fonts, we have auxiliary.
Master Qui-Gon.
Something inside me has always been there.
And if you just missed a font and you want to go back, you're going to hold the lightsaber upside down and hit the auxiliary.
Master Qui-Gon. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Now there is another way of flipping through your fonts as well. You're just going to hold auxiliary for about a second.
Select preset.
And then you can kind of just scroll.
A Mandalorian and
I am a Jedi.
And then hit auxiliary when you find your font. So as far as the volume, if you want to go immediately into mute, you're going to hit the power button twice real quick. And then I'll put you right into mute. Then you can just turn it off and turn it right back on, and you're out of mute. The volume's super easy. It's hold power and click auxiliary.
volume menu.
All right, and then you just twist.
Minimum volume. Maximum volume.
All right, and then when you find the volume you want, you just hit auxiliary.
Exiting volume menu.
Changing your color of the blade is very easy. All right, you're gonna hold auxiliary and click power. All right, and then you just have to twist. You can go really fast, you can go really slow, really kind of fine tune the color. And when you find the color you want, let's go to blue. And you're gonna do the same thing, auxiliary and power, all right? Now there are a few blade styles included on here as well that you can kind of scroll through. So we have the typical. So we have the standard one here. It doesn't do anything but turn on, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold the auxiliary, hold the power, and then let power go while you're holding the auxiliary. So you're always holding auxiliary. So hold, and then power, let go, right? And then to get to the next one, you're gonna have to let everything go and then start again. So now we have this kind of shimmery blade here, kind of like a dark saber. Hold auxiliary and power. So hold, power, let go, still holding auxiliary, and then let go. So some of the blade styles seem to just be colors. So here we have a red, we have another red, we have a fire blade, a blue blade, we have an orangey kind of flickery blade, got some shimmering going on in there. Then we have just kind of like a rotating color. Got a rainbow blade. Got some really stroby looking flickery blade. Pink shimmer blade. Red. Purple. Green. A really cool ignition type. Oh, that's pretty cool. Let me show you that. It kind of has a pre-on and a pre-off. And then it just kind of fades away. It's pretty cool. All right, my friends, that is about it. This is the episode 6 Luke Skywalker Lightsaber from 89Sabers. Thank you so much to CCSabers for sending this over. I'll put a direct link and discount code for you down in the description if you want to check this out and everything else over at CCSabers. Let me know what you think of this lightsaber down in the comments, and while you're down there, do help support the channel by hitting the like, subscribe, and notification button for upcoming videos. I have a lot of lightsabers that I think you're going to want to check out. All right, I will see you all on the next video. Be safe and kind out there in the world, my friends. See ya.